Hello, hello, everyone. How are you all doing on this fine Friday? This fine Friday release day, the release day of the brand new single Dead Zone. As you can see, I got a little gussied up for the occasion. I hope you are all gussied up as well. Got myself a beverage or two waiting in the wings. But seems even the dead need to sneeze. All right. How you guys doing? How do you guys like Dead Zone? I'm beyond overwhelmed by all of the positive responses that I've gotten from you guys. I'm so grateful for all of your lovely DMs and emails and shares and all of that kind of stuff. I love going onto my social media and seeing you guys enjoying the song, sharing the song, telling your friends about it. I even saw a couple of reactions have gone up. I haven't had the chance to check them out just yet. But, you know, we're like not even 24 hours into the release yet. So, of course, I will spend the whole weekend telling all of you guys to buy the song on iTunes so that we can get it up into the charts. If you guys remember last month with the Automaton single, we were able to get that, like, I don't remember completely off the top of my head, but it did so well. We reached like number 1 in the metal charts in Germany on iTunes, number 1 on the rock charts on iTunes in Germany. We were like number 6 in all of Finland. I think we even got as high as number 5 on the American metal charts. So it's pretty unbelievable to be a fully independent band who kind of reaches these chart positions, right? Like, it's just completely unheard of for a band like mine. Like, don't forget, we got no management, we got no label, we got no like big crazy press campaigns. It's literally just me and all of you. So if we succeed because of each other. So yeah, if you have not done so yet, I will be sure to drop the link in the chat here where you can save it, where you can mic is clipping. Ooh, it's like at half. Hello? Is this better? Still clipping? Look at that. All right, you guys tell me how I'm sounding. This is actually not OBS. I'm using Ecamm Live now. It's a lot easier with all of the different scene switching and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm still getting used to the software. Let me know if I sound okay now. Yeah. All right. So I've gone ahead and dropped the link in the chat where you can order the brand new single Dead Zone on Amazon, on iTunes, where you can save it on Spotify, all the good stuff. Maybe stay a bit further away from the mic. I'm like literally on 33% here. How's that? Is that better? That's like a 10. I've not had this problem before. At least with this software. Ooh, sounds better now. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully it stays that way. I've had to adjust this volume a couple of times, but it's always like a different setting, so it's just like super weird. And put a limiter on it. I cannot put a limiter on the microphone itself, and this software is like consumer grade software. There's no plugins. There's no way. Still clipping, only quieter? Are you fucking kidding me? Hold on. I ain't having this. I did not invest in this super professional system. Is that better? I did not invest in the super professional system to have it clip on me all the time. Better, better, better. I don't know what happened. And this is what I did my my Space Zebra stream on yesterday, and I changed absolutely none of the settings. So I don't know what to tell you. I hate technology. Technology hates me. But okay, so now I've adjusted the mic input volume on the software. I've adjusted the you all. Now I'm quiet. Oh my God, you should have left it alone. Now I can't hear you. Sounded fine before. Look at this. See, you guys are making me second guess myself. I had this whole spiel planned out, and now we're here fiddling all the night long, wasting our precious drinking time, our precious hanging out time, trying to fix all of the software. Audio is clean now, though. Ha! All right. Cat is rubbing against me, which means she wants to play, which means she's going to completely cover my fancy pants with fur. Oh, audio's perfect. Yes. Ooh. All right. All right, good to go now. I love how you guys love to complain. No, I'm just kidding. I want this experience to be as pleasant for you as it is for me. I'm glad that this sounds better now. And no top end distortion. You guys are getting really, really technical here. All right. Very good. No longer distorted. Fine now. When's the next CD out? Are you out of your mind? Why are we worrying about CDs? We're doing singles, baby. Singles is the future. Singles are everything. And I just dropped a new single today. You're going to ask me about when I'm going to drop another full length? Come on, get out of here. Look, there's the cat. All right. Actually, the next song, Gravity, drops on May 7th. You're going to get a pre-save and pre-order link, all that good stuff in the next couple of weeks. But here, today, right now, we are talking about Dead Zone. And yeah, this song is a little bit different. I think it's really funny. A lot of people are getting some synthwave vibes from it, which was not my intention at all. I actually just I put it in the synthwave category. To try to cheat in the charts, actually, just a little bit, because I don't think it sounds synthwave at all. But some of you guys do, which is what caused me to actually put it into the synthwave category. Now the cat's sleeping next to me. You know, you're cramping my style, little cat. It's very cute. Where was I? Yes. Dead Zone is a little bit different. In my mind, it's a lot more of a 90s kind of vibe. Like, I wanted to get, the sort of the rhythm, the swing, the sloppy vibe of like early 90s Bjork or Garbage or even Duran Duran when you think of like Come Undone. But I wanted to transport it into like a modern pop music context. And so it's cool that, so many people hear so many different things in it, which means it's not obviously one thing or the other. And I think that that's really, as an artist, that's probably like the number one goal, right? Is to make sure that your work is incredibly subjective. So what one person gets out of it is going to be completely different from what another person gets out of it. So I think that that's great that you guys are sort of like hearing what's familiar to you in it, and that my influences aren't as blatant as maybe I worried they were. see somebody here saying, "Oh, Dead Zone reminds me of cyberpunk." I'm not I'm not like a cyberpunk guy at all. I'm not a synthwave guy at all. I'm not really the biggest fan of retro genres. So I say that, obviously being like, I wanted to make like 90s sounding music, but I wanted to make 90s sounding music that sounded like it was, made in 2021, not something that was made in 1994. So that's it. That's my spiel. That's my spiel. My spiel. My spiel is that this song is totally different. I was really, really worried that you guys were going to hate it. The fact that so many of you seem to really love the song and appreciate the fact that it's different means a whole lot to me, and it just motivates me to keep going, to keep experimenting, to keep trying the craziest crap that I possibly can. So, yeah. I think now is as good a time as any for all of us to go ahead and give Dead Zone a listen. If you haven't heard it already, I hope you enjoy it. If you have heard it already, well, I hope you enjoy it again. That's what we're all here for. Enjoyment, right? Yes. All right. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, corpse and corpses. Dead Zone.
I scratch my eyes out of the photograph. I'm not the one I want to see. into the dead zone. Of things that get lost. Into the dead zone. Of things that get lost. This time I'm letting go. 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 This time I'm letting go.
All right. So that was Dead Zone. For those of you who have not heard it yet, I was reading the chat while the song was playing. So cool to see you guys digging it. To answer some of the questions or some of the sort of, I don't know, comments in here. Somebody said, "Oh, I really like the acoustic drums set against the electronics." This is a breakbeat, right? So it's based off of a recording of acoustic drums, but it's heavily processed, and that was the real sort of like thread to the 90s that I wanted to connect with. So I don't know how old you are, but back in the late 80s, early 90s, like everybody was using breakbeats in like everything. And it was like, it didn't matter if it was techno, it didn't matter if it was like pop or rock. It was just like everything, breakbeats. Yeah, it's like you heard this in some of my like favorite songs were Setting Sun by, it's Crystal Method, right? Or is it? Yeah, it's Crystal Method. So Setting Sun, it's an awesome break in there. And of course, Army of Me, which is actually a breakbeat sampled from When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin, one of my favorite bands of all time. And of course, like all the trip hop stuff, Sneaker Pimps, Massive Attack. That was really kind of the thing that I wanted to go back to, because I hadn't heard anybody do this in a really long time. So I thought it would be fun to incorporate breakbeats into the song, and then have this sort of like really gritty synth bass kind of walking up a scale all over it. The majority of the synths in the song are actually hardware. So we've got the Polyvox over here. Actually, I don't know if you can see it. There it is. There's that Polyvox. And then a lot of the monosynth stuff is the Virus, and then can't really see, it's just out of frame, but it's this Erebus so the walking arpeggio bass line. That's the Erebus layered with actually just a crappy sample in the Logic sampler. So, okay, people rocking the the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys who care enough about my art to try to support it financially. As I have said many times before, I am always humbled and honored to receive that kind of financial support. But if you want to really support me and help me make more music for years to come, then please join the Imperfect Society. We have built an amazing community of supporters over there. And in exchange for your monthly donations and support, you actually get stuff from me. So I don't feel like I'm just taking donations, right? Like it's a very symbiotic relationship. And that's super important to me. It's super important to me that me and my fans have a symbiotic relationship. We feel like we're here taking care of each other. And I feel like that's what the Imperfect Society has absolutely done. It's like we set out to do it, and we did like way more than I had ever anticipated. So imperfectsociety.net, you can go there. We are now actually offering annual subscriptions. So I know that some of you, rightfully so, are pretty, let's say, hesitant to sign up for another monthly subscription service, and I get it. But we now offer yearly subscriptions, so you can sign up for something like $24 a year is the cheapest option. And when you sign up, you get a 10% discount. So it actually ends up being something like $22 per year. And then you just, throw $20 at me, and then you're done for the year. And then you get all the sweet benefits of being a member of the Imperfect Society. And of course, everybody will kill me if I don't mention the Discord. I'm super, super stoked on our Discord. We've watched that grow like amazing over the last year. We've got a great community of people over there. So I'm sure Roz and Aaron and Elodia will drop the Discord link because I can never find it, but I'm sure they will drop it into the chat there. Come to Sweden, or at least near Sweden. We were in Sweden last year when we supported Lindemann. We actually played Scandinavia quite often for a number of years, but then I think the sort of like live music industry slowed down a bit in Scandinavia. But I'm hoping that the super successful show that we had with Lindemann in Stockholm will pick things up for us again after things open up. And of course, we got to play in Finland as well. Would love to return to the Nordic countries again as soon as it is safe to do so. The most hardware song in 13 years. Yes, that is absolutely true. As many of you know, I think right after A Violent Emotion, I sort of just gave up on hardware. It felt like too impractical. It was a lot of work, not just in recording, but I didn't like having to like remember and recall all of the patches and stuff like that when writing songs. So this guy ended up living at my mom's for 10 years, and then I dug him out just to finish Into the Black. So it's like Into the Black has a lot of virus sort of atmospheres and a couple of basses like peppered in throughout there. But once I moved back to Austria and I started, really getting bit by the hardware bug, I've got the Erebus now, and it's off screen. You can't see it. I got the Wasp, and I've got the Polyvox here, which I imported from Siberia, and it was way more expensive than I had ever anticipated because with import fees, shipping fees, and repair fees, boy, oh boy, was that a hole in the wallet. Yes. All right. We won't go down that path. I'll just get depressed. And there's no reason to get depressed because I dropped a new single today. And even though it's becoming a bit of a habit, I'm still really excited about it every time I do it. And I'm so excited to get to hang out with all of you guys while we do it, or let's say in order to celebrate it. It's kind of hard to have parties in this moment in history, so I'm glad that we can have our own sort of version of a party. I remember when I asked Daniel his thoughts on making a Discord server, and he was like, what the hell is that? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't fully understand what Discord is now that I've had one for over a year, but the fact that we've got so many technologically minded people, so many youngsters in there who understand technology much better than an old fart like myself, Aaron, Elodia, Roz, and Mortis. Yes. Those guys run a very tight ship over there, and I still feel very confused when I go in there from time to time, but they always help me. Oh God, somebody is saying, am I the only person who feels like the volume is too quiet? More complaints about the sound. I think we're just cursed. I think we're cursed, folks. I raise it up, it's too loud. I bring it down, it's too low. I hope we make it. I hope we make it through here. When it's safe to do so, would you come play a show in Vancouver again? It was such a good show last time. Yes, that was a great show. And yes, we will, of course, return to Vancouver. I always love being in Canada. Canada's always super good to us. And you know what I love so much about Canada? You guys buy the shit out of merch. Holy crap. I feel like every time doors open, there's just like a mad rush for the merch booth. You guys just want to get everything that's there. And I love you for that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, here's the thing. I ran a little bit behind here today because when I returned home from dinner, because I was eating dinner at my family's house, when I returned home from dinner, the cat had somehow got herself tangled into flypaper, like all up on her luscious breast of cat flushums. And it was funny because she's done this a number of times. We have some flypaper around like the potted plants because stupid little gnats like to burrow into the soil. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about plants or raising plants. I just know that we have flypaper for these couple of plants, and the cat tends to get stuck in it. Oh, there she is. Her ears are burning, right? The cat does tend to get stuck in the flypaper from time to time, and we're always scolding her, telling her what an idiot she is. But I came home from dinner, and I suspect she'd been stuck in it for a while because I drove to another. We live in a tiny village. I drove to another city to pick up like our takeout order, and then ate at the family's house. So it's just like I'd been gone for like 2 hours. So the second I opened the door, the cat just goes and like flops down in front of me, and she like shows me her belly, and she's just got like flypaper all stuck to it. I'm like, oh my God. So it took me like 15 minutes to free the cat of the flypaper, and so I ran a little bit behind, so I didn't get to make my makeup as pretty as I wanted. I didn't get to get everything here all set up as great as I wanted. Apparently, I messed up with the audio. But yes. Yeah, that's why things are running a little bit slow. But, and it's why I don't have a glass for my beer. But don't worry, I do have a beer. I want to drink it out of a glass because it's a good beer. But I don't have a glass. So maybe I'll get a glass. But how about I get a glass? How about we watch something while I get a glass? So I don't want to like leave you guys hanging here. Okay. All right. So how about we watch something and I'll go grab a glass. What do you guys want to watch? What should we watch? We could listen to Automaton. We could watch Never Enough. We could watch Dark Half. Oh yeah, why don't we watch the Sierra remix? That's a great idea. Let's watch the Sierra remix. All right, guys, here's the Sierra remix of Dead Zone. It is an awesome remix. If you do not know Sierra, holy shit, you've got to check her out. She is like one of my favorite up-and-coming producers. She's based out of France. I cannot believe that she even agreed to do a remix for me because I basically hit her up on Instagram. I was like, yo, Sierra, hi, my name's Daniel. I've got this band. We're called Aesthetic Perfection. I'll pay you X amount of money if you give me a remix in 4 days. Like 4 days. And she's like, I got you. I'll do it. And she fucking did it, and she fucking nailed it. So I present to you the Sierra remix of Dead Zone.
I scratch my eyes out of the photograph. I'm not the one I want to see. I dim the lights to lie alone again. The apple's rotten as a tree. So melancholy, so bittersweet.
That is the Sierra remix of Dead Zone. She absolutely fucking slayed it, didn't she? Yeah. She's amazing. I dropped the Spotify link in the chat. Be sure to follow her on Spotify. Be sure to follow all of your favorite artists on Spotify. I cannot stress enough how important all of that stuff is to the Spotify algorithm. When the algorithm notices that you care enough about an artist to follow them, pre-save their stuff, all that business. Basically, trying not to kill the cat with my rolling chair. Basically, what you are demonstrating to Spotify is that there are active listeners of your favorite bands, right? Like, people aren't just passively listening to them on playlists, or that they're just coming up randomly in the autoplay, all that kind of stuff. The fact that somebody in today's world, where it's very difficult to get somebody to click through and do stuff, the fact that you guys do that for me and you do that for some of your other favorite bands, like, it really, really means a lot. And if you take a look at some like bands that maybe have like millions of listeners per month, if you go and you look in their back end, right? So it's like in their bio, it'll say the amount of followers that they actually have. So some bands will have like 3 million listeners a month, but they'll only have like 20,000 followers, right? It's like, that means they got lucky and they got on a playlist, or, you know, some famous person shared their music. A lot of passive listeners means nothing. A lot of active listeners means everything. So if you want to support me, you want to support Sierra, you want to support any of your favorite underground bands, be sure to click the follow button on Spotify. All right, that's my rant. And in the meantime, I was able to go get myself a glass. Y'all know me. You know that I drink my beer out of wine glasses. That's how I do. And I gotta say, the weather is terrible. It's been very cold the last couple of days, like blizzards and all this stuff. So this beer does not really suit the weather. However, I felt like I wanted to get myself into a kind of summery mood. So we've got a Hazy IPA. Very excited about this. Wild Beer makes amazing beers. I hope it doesn't explode when I open it. I don't use Spotify at all. Is there a Bandcamp? I'm sure there is a Bandcamp, but I don't know it. I don't use Bandcamp. There's two different kind of listeners in the world. There's people who like, because Bandcamp isn't a streaming site, right? Like, Bandcamp, even the owners and like sort of CEO has said that Bandcamp is more like a record shop. It's not a streaming platform. I prefer to stream my music. I don't want to own digital files. I don't want to own physical media. I want to just be able to stream what I want when I want. But I totally understand that there are people who have like a different sort of method of consuming music. And I think that it's great that there are people who are still hardcore music fans who want to purchase music. Yeah, I think that's awesome. But I still don't know what I still don't know what her Bandcamp is. But I will point out that success on Bandcamp does not mean anything to the music industry. The music industry ignores Bandcamp success. Just putting that out there. For the most part, I mean, if you sell like 1 million units on Bandcamp, somebody's going to pay attention. But, you know. Hazy IPA. Hazy IPA. I mean, I understand that many of you are in time zones where drinking alcohol is probably not a great idea. So, especially if you're in the future, like in New Zealand or Australia. Oh, cat. All right, guys. Well, cheers. Thank you for all your support. Oh, that's good. I've loved your music for a long time, and you are my most streamed artist on Spotify. Thank you very, very much, Jaden. That's very kind. Bandcamp equals FLAC for me. You know that Spotify is going to launch like lossless formats very soon. Just saying. It's 3:40 here. Totally drinking time. I back that way of thinking. I mean, it's Friday, right? Who cares? Yep. Hi, cat. Are you going to jump up here? The cat might jump up here. She's usually very camera shy. Are you going to jump up here? You can. It might jump up here. $1:45 in Seattle, still at work. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. But it's 10:40 p.m. It's very much drinking time for me. And Friday is always beer day. In my house, in my sort of family compound, Friday is beer day. It's like the rule. You got to drink beer on Friday. So with dinner, we had a couple of what are they called? Märzen. Yeah, Märzen is a very popular beer style here in Austria. I don't even know if it's in Germany. I mean, if it is, it's not as like widespread. It's kind of like a Pilsner, but tastes more like pennies. But Austrians, man, they love their Märzen. And it's actually pretty drinkable, pretty good with food. So that's what we were drinking with dinner. But I decided I wanted something a little bit fancier. Cat is so close to jumping. There it is. Hi, cat. Will Spotify allow for downloading lossless? I don't know. Thank you. I do know that they. Yes. I do know that they are going to be launching it very, very soon because I was part of a sort of like Spotify Artist Masterclass. It was pretty cool that I got invited to be a part of it. They sort of like told us about all the sort of new features that are going to be rolling out very soon. And there's actually even going to be like stories, kind of like what you have on Instagram. So you're going to be able to following your artists on Spotify is going to be much more like following your artists on your favorite artists on Instagram. It's going to be much more like social media integration, which I think in some ways is quite cool, but in other ways is a little bit frustrating because there's so many different social medias that you have to like pay attention to as a public figure that it just adds another like dimension, another thing to deal with. But I think it's good because the more it's like social media, the more people will click the follow button. I hope so, anyways. I did want to say that you're an hour late with EST, unless that's just New York. I think I said 10 p.m. is 10 p.m. Austrian time is 1 p.m. LA time, which should be 4 p.m. New York time. Did I get that wrong? If I did, I'm sorry. I'm always trying to deal with all of these different time zones. It's not easy. Into the time zones. What time I don't know. Ooh. Wagyu is asking what the synth by the window is. Does anybody in the chat want to tell Wagyu what the synth in the window is? That's what it is. It's beautiful. Changing cameras. There we go. Before I discovered you, I only listened to music with CDs. Now I have an account at Bandcamp, Switch, Spotify. I love it. Coming into the future. Look, I grew up with CDs. I preferred CDs back in the day, but I feel like you got to adapt or you're going to die. And, a lot of people thought that this whole one song per month, it's 12. Yeah, thank you, Kat. Oh, she's going to go play the Polyvox. A lot of people thought the 12 songs in 12 months project was a little bit insane and stupid, and some people were like, I'm not even going to listen to your music. I only listen to albums. If you release singles, I won't listen to it. I don't know. I watched a whole bunch of my friends' bands release albums, especially during, the now times, and it was really bad for them. It's like, I feel like the current situation in the world really sort of like accelerated the inevitable, like what was already happening, which was just this, the switch to streaming. I mean, we're already like watching movies this way. Most people in the world are already streaming. You've mainly just got like holdouts left, but like the streaming has just like gone through the roof in the last year, and I'm sure we all know why. So obviously, like, I totally understand people still wanting to collect physical media. I understand that it's not just about the you're trying to steal the show, aren't you? Mara. Hey. Show stealer. I mean, I've even recently invested in a vinyl player, so I'm going to start doing that. Don't you dare climb those curtains. I will kill you. I will kill you. I get it. So like I'm going to kind of go down. I'm going to be like the typical like hipster middle-aged guy and do the vinyl thing. But I still think streaming is going to be the main way that I consume music. Uh-huh. She's never done this in any live stream ever. Well, if you're going to purr, you better purr into the microphone. I also thought, not only because I believe that singles are the future, I really believe that the future is so uncertain, the way things are going to be going in the next 12 to 18 months. I thought it would be nice to not just like shy away from the world and write an album or something like that may never get heard because, as I said, so many of my friends have released albums during this time and they've just seen them disappear within 3 weeks because that's like the basic refresh rate on our timelines now. It's like nothing lasts longer than 3 weeks. So it's like, okay, fine. I'll release something new every 4 weeks. And not only will it give me something to do, it'll give you guys something to look forward to every month as well. So, cat fur. I'm really, really happy to see how well this experiment has gone, and we're only a quarter of the way. We're a quarter of the way through now, so we've got a lot more to go. But if it keeps going down this road, I'm really, really excited, and I'm super glad that some of you guys who don't like streaming are still supporting me this way. So yeah. It never ceases to amaze me how lucky we are to talk directly to an artist that we love. I mean, let's be real here, guys. I'm not that famous. I'm really not that famous. I think as long as an artist is able to remain connected to their audience, they should do so. I mean, I think that you pass like a certain threshold at some point where, maybe it becomes untenable or just too overwhelming. Like I watched an interview with Zach Galifianakis the other day, and he was talking about how he got famous when he was 40, right? So when The Hangover came out, he was 40 when he got famous. So he'd already sort of like established his life as a private individual. And then the movie came out, and then he just started getting people like following him. You know, he's at a restaurant and people are just sitting down and, while he's trying to have, a meal with friends, family, whatever. And like, I wouldn't even know what I would do with that if somebody just came and sat down at like my booth or something. It would be very, very like weird. So I think like that kind of fame sort of alienates you from the world. And I used to really crave that. I used to really like crave the super fame, like I wanted to be, this massive rock star or whatever. But I think as I've gotten older, I would much rather just kind of like be who I am now, in this sense where it's like, I've got people who care deeply about my music, and I can engage with them in this very sort of personal way, and it doesn't it doesn't get to a point where it's impossible, right? So I feel incredibly lucky. I feel like I've struck this kind of balance where I'm allowed to be a private person, but I'm also allowed to, do silly stuff like this where I get dressed up and shoot the shit with you guys for a couple hours, The best example is Billie Eilish. Even though she tries to stay in touch with her fans because there are hundreds of millions, it just doesn't work well. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But, you also look at like Taylor Swift. It's like Taylor Swift does have listening parties with some of her like biggest fans at her apartment in New York. Like that's pretty wild. I really, really give Taylor Swift a lot of credit for that. But, Taylor Swift has also lived the majority of her life as a celebrity. So I think she's somehow found a way to make it work. But also like Taylor Swift, somebody like Zach Galifianakis, right? Like he's not going to be somebody that the paparazzi is following around all the time, but he's still going to be somebody that people are going to harass if they see him in a diner. But Taylor Swift is, running around with an entourage of bodyguards and, people sort of like keeping her, keeping like the bubble around her so that she's, somewhat protected from kind of the weirdness that celebrity attracts. Yeah. So, but I mean, I don't even think I wouldn't want to be like Zach Galifianakis, and I wouldn't want to be like Taylor Swift. I think I'm pretty happy where I'm at right now. I mean, I obviously want to grow, but people have asked me like what my ideal sort of career trajectory would be. And it's like, I used to say like, I wanted to be like a, I wanted to be like a Trent Reznor or something like that. But I think now I would be much happier being like a, why am I spacing on his name? The Australian guy. Nick Cave. Nick Cave's great because Nick Cave, he plays theaters. He does his thing. He makes his music. Sometimes he has a hit. Sometimes he doesn't. But he's still got his sort of like loyal base who just cares about him and his work. And, that's I think that's an amazing place to be. Then I can get famous after I die. I'm very happy that before all this Corona business happened and concerts stopped, that I managed to see your show downtown in Vancouver. What a great night. The Vancouver show was really good. We haven't been able to play in Vancouver for, my goodness, like, I want to say, 2011. The I'll Be Destroyed tour. That was the last time that we played Vancouver. And so it was almost 10 years. And I was really, really excited to get back there. I tried really hard a number of times, but as everybody knows, I went through this sort of thing where it's like, I was on this really great upward trajectory with Violent Emotion, and then I put out All Be Destroyed, and all of a sudden I went from playing like rooms that had 100, 200 people to like playing rooms that had like 11. And then nobody wanted to book me anymore, so I had to like start over from scratch and sort of rebuild my audience. And it was hard to convince promoters in some markets to take me back, maybe because they totally lost their ass in booking me before. I don't know. But yeah, it's been a long journey back. But I think it's better now because it's like I think people liked me back then because I was like the hot new band, and now I'm just sort of like an old motherfucker that it's like you either like me or you don't, which is pretty cool. But I'm not like hip, So it's like all you guys aren't fair weather fans. You're not like, oh, I like Daniel because he's so young and cool and dreamy and, whatever the hell people say about like young, hot new artists. It's like, ooh, Daniel, he's 40 years old and he's been making music for 21 years. I would love to meet you one day with a VIP experience. Oh, Roz, don't worry. We will absolutely meet again when the world returns to normal. I'm already hearing whispers about things coming up much sooner than even I myself had predicted. Like I said, things were going to be screwed for years and years and years. And now some of my colleagues are calling me and saying it's not going to be screwed up for that much longer. So it'll happen sooner than you think, I think. Sooner than I thought. Well, to be honest, the Aesthetic Perfection shows were the last ones for so many of us before the current situation ruined the live show industry. Yeah, I mean, I think, you were at the last show, weren't you? The last show I played was Moscow on March, I want to say 7th. It was a good show, too. Damn, it was a good show. When the world returns to normal, I'm bringing tacos. Yes, tacos are my favorite. Everybody, please bring me tacos. I love it. All right. Look at that. So many more people. It's crazy. Insane. And what? Hold on. How did the chat revenue get so high? What? Ricardo, thank you. That's very kind of you. Steve, beer time, 50 quid. What the? Are you mad? Steve, next time I'm in the UK, I'm buying you a pint. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate it. That was unnecessary. This is crazy. You guys are crazy. And I love you for it. Thank you. Sadly, I will not be able to attend the rescheduled Oberhausen show. Will you play Ireland? I'm hoping that we'll get to return to Ireland. It's been a minute, Played in Ireland twice, played in Dublin twice. Really hoping that sort of like the next big tour on this side of the world, we can get to a lot of the markets that we never got to play. Like, can you believe I've never played Rome? I've never played Rome. I DJ'd in Rome once, like 10 years ago. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to being able to play in Rome. I would love to play in Madrid. I would love to play in like Nice. And what's the other French city? Starts with an M, I think. I'm spacing. Either way, France is a lot bigger than Paris. I'd love to play some other some other French cities. All right. Do you have a... Not sure I understand this question. Marseille. Yeah, Marseille. You got it, Lars, even though you're German. What are you thinking about France? As a German. Ravenous Chaos. Thank you so much. Belgium is not part of Belgium is not part of France. Oh, Lord. Okay. I think we're an hour in. It's a good time to watch something. And I was hoping that I could... Damn it. I was hoping that I could get that done. I could start the next video before I sneeze, but it was unavoidable. All right. How about we check out another track? How about we wait for the software to not crash? There we go. Tell you what, I'm just going to surprise you guys. Be right back.
There is a darkness, inflation stage at war, our inner conflict, the seeds of vitriol. We're taking the candles and crumble and fall. We time for a time to make something at all. It's something to hold them to love. Is there no hope? We wanna be free. We're hanging on something I'm coming free. I'm blood and we're running the streets. Is there no hope? For all our woes. Will we outgrow her endless war of gods and gold? We're running and gunning and gunning and down. There is no justice. There is just rage and greed. To live with conscience is to live on your knees. The sea is the faces of things that you pay. The fact that it's burning inside of the day. We're heading to hell in a blaze. Is there no hope? Taking his distance and dragging him down. Loyally, royally, faith for the ground. Willfully, devilly down. Is there no hope? We
Ooh. Team No Hat. How crazy is that? You have to choose between White Hat and Black Hat, and clearly White Hat is the winner. Everybody knows White Hat is the best. No Hat. Madness. Absolute madness. Your vocal range in Gods and Gold is incredible. When you hit the high notes, it sends a shiver down my spine. Thank you very much. I always try to push myself with every song. It's I think that might have been like the highest sung note I've ever done. It's very high. But I really, really love hair metal. And I think the sort of like hair metal high wail, some people hate it. A lot of people find it super grating and like nails on a chalkboard. I love the hell out of it. I think it sounds so cool. Gotta admit, Gods and Gold makeup is dazzling. Yes, but that's all thanks to Pompberry. Pompberry is the makeup genius who made that look come to life. I think without her, if I had like been responsible for doing my makeup on that one, it just wouldn't have had the same impact. I was lucky to work with her on Ebb and Flow, and then when it came time to do Gods and Gold, I hit her up and I just asked if she was available, and I got really lucky. She was. Everybody should go check her out on Instagram. Pompberry, Pompberry. She does like incredible like VFX stuff, and yeah, she's the shit. Oh, look at that, Mortis in here dropping the links. Good thing I have all you Discord, all the Discord admins are like YouTube admins, and just drop all the links in the chat, and I'm very grateful for that. Oh, am I supposed to have this? Okay. Thank you. I predict she stays for 2 seconds. I've received a basket kit. Horst Wurst, what are you doing? Oh, God. Oh, God. My beer's here. What's going to happen to my beer? Guys, I predict the worst. I predict the worst. The Horst, thank you. That is very, very kind of you. Next time I see you in Germany, I'm assuming I owe you a beer. Wow, that is... Good Lord. Thank you, man. I just want to reiterate, if you guys want to throw money at me, you can throw money at me on Patreon and you'll get stuff in return. You know, like jingles and handwritten lyrics, and what else do I give away? Oh yeah, free access to early access to music, early access to music videos, free downloads galore. Woohoo! See how well I sold that? Mara does not want beer. Mara only likes tuna. She doesn't like anything else. Chicken, won't eat it. Beef, won't eat it. Pork, won't eat it. Other kinds of fish, won't eat it. Tuna, she'll eat. Oh, it's salmon. She'll eat some salmon. It's like, at some point when we first moved here, and we couldn't find like a cat food that she would eat, so we just like basically would go to the grocery store and we would buy her salmon fillets and cook them up for dinner. Like the damn cat would eat better than we would. Patreon is one of the best experiences that one can have. That is very kind. Thank you, Alex. I hope you meant it. I hope it wasn't a lie. Still trying to get a stable enough income to have a Patreon. I totally understand this. I've said time and time again that I only want people to support me if they are financially stable enough to do so. I absolutely would hate for anyone to forego necessities just in order for me to make art. I know a lot of artists like to pretend like this is not the case, but art is absolutely a luxury, okay? What I'm doing is, I believe, important, obviously. I think art is very necessary when it comes to, sort of like existential health, I guess. But, paying your rent, feeding yourself and your family, these are like the real important things. And I would never forgive myself if I knew that somebody was supporting my art, my luxury, over any of their basic necessities. So please don't feel any pressure to do that. And I totally understand, as I said earlier, that given the current state of the world, people are very hesitant to sign up for for additional subscription-based services like Patreon. I totally get it. That's one of the reasons why I have the annual membership now, which I'm really, really stoked on, because it's like, if you say, oh, I've got $20 and I want to throw it at Daniel, $20 will get you a year-long subscription, and then you don't have to worry about your credit card being charged every month. So there are a lot of options, but again, the most important thing to me is that you are taking care of you and yours, and this is why all of my music is free on Bandcamp, or let's say pay what you want. So if you are struggling and you just need some music to help sort of get you through, then please go to my Bandcamp, take the music for free. That's what I want you to do. If you have a few extra bucks, throw some at your old pal Daniel, sign up for Patreon, whatever. I'm incredibly appreciative of it. Yeah, that's the long and the short of it. Oof, we went philosophical again. It means we're almost at the end of the stream. That's true. We are almost at the end of the stream. But, the fact that I've only had half a beer on one stream, that's, especially for a release party. I mean, oh boy. Maybe we should do a shot. I'll do a shot. Ugh. After I get philosophical. I'm a manga artist and writer as hobbies, and I've tried putting out art commissions and no one takes me up on it. Not complaining, but it's just very difficult. The hardest thing in any sort of endeavor, I don't care if it's art, I don't care if it's starting your own business, the hardest thing to do is to get going. It's like just getting that first initial push to where people start paying attention to you. And, just, it is so friggin' hard. And, I had what could be considered a leg up, right? When I had to restart again, after All Beauty Destroyed. And I thought, maybe my past success would somehow speed things up, but it just absolutely did not. I really started from the bottom all over again. And it's an uphill battle, but once the boulder begins to move, you just got to keep moving with it. But it's all about that persistence. I think one of the things that artists should be doing is figuring out how their voice sort of fits into the world, into the current moment, into the current zeitgeist. I know a lot of my colleagues consider that selling out. I don't think that that's selling out. I think that's figuring out how to say what you want to say so that the world can understand it. It's about finding out who you are as an artist and sharing that with people in a way that resonates with them. It's like, I think one of my favorite sort of analogies is you've come up with the greatest, I don't know, philosophy or mathematical equation or whatever that the world has ever known or ever seen. But you only speak Spanish and you're talking to a room full of people who only speak Mandarin. It doesn't matter how great your idea is. If you're talking Spanish and the rest of the world is speaking Mandarin, your idea is not going to connect. And so as artists, it's our job to find out how do we speak to the world as it is, instead of trying to shove our own sort of ideas about what people should like down their throats. I'm constantly saying, like, what is popular now? What is the world interested in? What do I like about that? How can I adapt that to what I'm doing in a way that doesn't feel completely out of left field to the public, but also sounds fresh and different? I think one of my best examples of this is The New Black. The New Black came out in like 2014 when dubstep was incredibly popular. I wrote that song with dubstep drums and a chorus that went to halftime, which is a very dubstep way of doing things. I mean, metal does that too, but with dubstep drums and dubstep halftime chorus. And at least I feel like, and I felt like at the time, the idea was that I'm going to incorporate these elements of dubstep that people are familiar with, but they're not going to interpret it as dubstep. There's no like wub in it. There's no wub, 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 wub. There's like none of that. There's nothing to date it in that way, but it still had that thread to connect it to that moment in time. But if you listen to it now, you're not going to go like, oh, it sounds like dubstep. I mean, if you do, then I failed, but that was not what I was trying to do. So I wish you all the luck on your journey towards manga stardom. I hope you don't give up. I hope you keep pushing that boulder, and I think you'll find once it starts moving, things just kind of happen a little bit better. So I'm going to throw on last month's single, Automaton, and while I do that, I'll grab a shot, we'll have a drink, and we will wrap things up as long as you guys don't get too philosophical and force me to talk to you all night long. I'm just kidding.
Slide, 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 slide. I'm automatic. I'm automatic, just like you. Another panic. Another red inside and endless sleep. I can't breathe. Anxiety. I'm just gonna slide from underneath the knife, away from all the lies. So I'm just gonna slide, slide, slide. Slide, slide, slide. Slide, slide, slide. Slide, slide, slide.
Automaton. Every time I hear that, I always think about how amazing Sebastian is at guitar and how lucky I am to have found him. He's so gosh darn good. All right, as promised, got a bottle of Ouzo. Can you read that? Oh, it's Ouzo. So, drink them if you got them. Light them if you got them. If I'm hungover tomorrow, I'm blaming you guys. How are my guitar skills? Oh, I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Do you know what I sent Sebastian for that song? I was like, Sebastian. It's like, Sebastian, here's my song. That's it. Yeah, I'm not good, see? But I'll tell you what. I think what's interesting is that I'm such a terrible guitarist that I write really simple riffs. And I think simple riffs are incredibly effective, but they have to be played with a certain level of flair and intensity in order to come across. So I think working with Sebastian is super great because he's able to turn my very simple riffs into something that has, like, magic to it. Because, a lot of guitarists who are really, really good try to just, I don't know, like overdo it, I guess. It's the same way with singing, right? Max Martin, basically the world's best pop producer, has said, I like when a really, really great singer sings a very simple line. And I think that that's true because it's just, you can just tell when somebody's really, really good at something. It doesn't matter if they're playing something incredibly difficult. So can they add that magic to it? And I think Sebastian really adds that magic. I've never talked about this publicly before, but I actually had another guitarist play on that and Gravity, and I was just so blown away with Sebastian's playing that I actually went back and had Sebastian like replay all those guitars again. I was like, dude, can you just do every single thing that I work on in the future, please? Because you're just so freaking good. And no offense to the other player, he's a great player, but Sebastian just, I don't know. Sebastian completes me as a guitarist. And speaking of Sebastian, we finished the song for June today, which is great. And which means I can get started on July. Trying to get really ahead of things because I promise you, when you start finding out what's going on in the next 6 months, you'll be glad. You'll be glad that I got ahead of it. All right. Everybody, cheers. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to Dead Zone. Thank you for putting up with all my crazy artistic ideas. Thank you for believing in me when the rest of the music industry does not. Thank you for taking a chance on music that sounds different every single freaking time. I am in your debt forever. Cheers. That's 4 songs down, 8 more to go. I agree. Bring Me the Horizon riffs got so much simpler through the years, but they are so much better. Like my favorite Bring Me song is Alligator Blood, and that's on their album Before Sempiternal. But I think their best riff is for Wonderful Life. That riff is not easy to play. Like, I've tried to learn how to play Wonderful Life. Go ahead. Try to learn how to play Wonderful Life. Or somebody like Wes Borland. Like, Wes's riffs are so simple, but when you try to play them, they're really not. And the combination of his playing style, his tone, all of that kind of stuff is just like, it makes this magic that it's just so hard to define, right? It feels like alchemy almost, like it's something that shouldn't be. And Wes is a guitarist like that. What's his name? Why am I spacing on his name from Rage Against the Machine? Tom Morello. Wow, that guy. He's another one who just brings magic to every riff he touches. His simple riffs that are not simple at all. So. You have a very interesting Polyvox synthesizer. Is it a rarity or a modern era? No, this thing is 40 years old and barely works, even though I had it serviced. It sounds great, though. Isn't Army of Me by Bjork the same as Dead Zone? I listened to a lot of that stuff when I was trying to get the drum beat right. I would say that Dead Zone is sort of an amalgamation of Army of Me, Number One Crush by Garbage, Barrel of a Gun by Depeche Mode. I really wanted to get that really sort of grimy, gritty, buzzy, distorted 16th note bass riff, kind of like what you hear in Army of Me and Barrel of a Gun. But I also wanted, like, my favorite break is in Setting Sun by Crystal Method. Or Chemical Brothers. It's Chemical Brothers. It's not Crystal Method. It's Chemical Brothers. Setting Sun. Oh, that song is so gnarly. So it's like that's the thing that I wanted to sort of capture. Daniel, are there any collaborations planned for the upcoming singles? Barrel of a Gun is awesome. So Gravity, which comes out May 7th, that is a collaboration with me, Svala, and Reese Fulber again. That one is much more straightforward, probably the most like hard rock metal song I've ever made ever. It's funny, everybody who's heard it says it sounds new metal. I guess, maybe. But I love it. I think it came out really, really good. And then June is Happy Face. And then beyond that, I don't know. I got a lot of songs, and they're not done yet. But they should be done very quickly, because it's going to be a busy friggin' year. We'll see. New metal is awesome. You're damn right it is. New metal is the shit. I think it totally got the wrong, got a raw deal. New metal was great. A lot of really talented musicians, but I feel like it was more or less the image that killed new metal than it was like the music itself. Somebody, actually, I won't say who. A celebrity actually told me, we had this conversation. I don't know why we had this conversation, but I was listening to Limp Bizkit, and I was like, "Oh, this is so good." And he was like, "Yeah, man, I know. It's just a shame that the world will never understand how amazing Limp Bizkit is." And I was like, "Yeah, why do you think that is?" He said, "Well, because sort of like the image of Fred Durst and stuff, while it was cool, it turned a lot of people off to it. But it's like, you sort of like take that away, and like the power in like a Limp Bizkit song is might as well be Rage Against the Machine, right? And I never heard Limp Bizkit sort of described in that way, and it was so, I don't know, like I never heard them the same again after that. And I think it's totally true, and it's not even that I think that the Limp Bizkit image is bad or anything. Like, Fred Durst was a genius. Fred Durst totally knew what he was doing. He brought something, like, he was somebody who read the room, right? He read the zeitgeist. He knew what the world needed at that moment, and he played that character so well. But sort of like, what's the word in wrestling where somebody wants to be the sort of punching bag for the world, right? It's a word for it. Like the villain in wrestling. It's like, I think Fred Durst wanted to be the villain in the music industry. And I think it made people like kind of miss how genius Limp Bizkit was. heal. Heal. Yes. I was like, are you telling me to heal like I'm a dog? Like I got to settle down? Heal. Yes, the heal. I was gonna be like, what the hell, man? I'm not going crazy or nothing. All right. So, I think that is a perfect place to end it. But some of you guys in here are asking to hear the original Dead Zone. Some of you people who came in late, who am I to deny you the right to hear Dead Zone again? We're going to do that before I sign off. I just want to thank all of you guys one more time for showing up, for hanging out, for listening to my new music. For those of you who support me on Patreon, Aaron, Mortis, Lodia, Alex, you're the guys I see now, Blee. Just want to make sure I don't miss you guys. You guys always have different like handles on different social media. But yeah, thank you guys for being a part of the amazing community that we've built. It wouldn't be the same without you. I wouldn't be able to do all of this without you. I would not be able to do this ridiculous 12 songs in 12 months project if it weren't for you guys. It is all of your support that makes it possible, because I wouldn't be able to have time to do this if I was working on remixes and covers and production and all of that kind of good stuff. So yeah, thank you all for this. Please, if you have a spare 99 cents, head over to iTunes in your territory and pick up Dead Zone. It would mean the world to me. Don't forget that I'm just a small independent artist who has no label, no backing, no manager, no big PR campaign. All of this stuff happens because of you guys. And to see a 100% independent artist like myself in the charts actually gets more attention to us. It sort of like legitimizes everything that I do. And yeah, so that's it. That's the end of my spiel. One more for the Patreon supporters. Guys, for the last time, well, not the last time ever, but for the last time tonight, my computer's beach balling. I hope that's for the last time tonight. All right, well, then I'll drink this while it's thinking. I hate when my computer tries to think.
I scratch my eyes out of the photograph. I'm not the one I wanna see. I dim the lights to lie alone again. The apple's rotten as a tree. So melancholy, so bittersweet. Nothing can stop my destiny into the dead zone of face dead zone of things to get lost into the dead zone of things to get lost. This time I'm letting go. 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 This time I'm letting go.
Thank you so much, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Friday. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys take care. And I'll see you soon. Good night.